ammunition,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
Yeah. And how did you feel about Marcos going in the direction he's going? I mean, what is your understanding? Because for me, I don't buy the fact. I don't buy this argument that they're to put Marcos in a strategic sweet spot. But I would still argue that Marcos can potentially make the most out of the situation, can potentially even put us in a strategic sweet spot if we get the most out of this EDCA, and that will give us a leverage when we deal with China. Because my sense is you can get nothing from China if you have no capabilities of on your own, if you're economically dependent on them, and you have no backing of anyone else. When you have some backing, some capabilities of your own, some diversified relations, then maybe we can make a better deal with China. But there's a counter argument to that, which is the genie's out of the bottle. The EDCA is going to bring us so deep into the American camp that goodbye with any engagement strategy towards China. Where do you stand on that? Because honestly, in my mind, I'm arguing for both sides, and I'm still not settled on that. So in academic parlance, are we still hedging or are we soft balancing, right? I mean, those are the terms we use in the academic world. And my sense is we are not still fully aligned with the US because we can still adjust some of the nitty-gritty details. We didn't give, I don't know, Mavulis or Fuga to the Americans, whatever. But I'm just giving an idea of some of the debates going on here, or at least some of the debates I'm having with myself. What is your understanding of that? Because can we pull out the map here? Because we're not only looking at the 5 pre-designated bases, we're looking at 4 additional ones, the red ones. They all have to do with maritime security, either West Philippine Sea or dealing with Taiwan. This looks, to some people, the Philippines has already aligned. I mean, I remember just the other day I was talking to a Malaysian taxi driver, Grab driver, was saying like, oh yeah, in the region, okay, I'm not gonna imitate the accent. In the region, Philippines and Singapore are kind of like deputy sheriff of America and ASEAN. Like, how do you read this? I mean, this looks, because at least in the 5 original one, may Mindanao ka, may Visayas ka, meron kang plausible deniability that this is not really about China, it's about ISIS, Daesh, whatever. But now, majority are facing West Philippine Sea and Taiwan. What's going on here?
I think that's a realization of yung geopolitical circumstances natin ngayon. And so if I juxtapose yung slide ko na this screen, yung screen picture,
right,
to the one you presented earlier on yung EDCA sites.
The basis, yeah.
Makita mo yung I call this the maritime, this is not my own so it's from my readings. Kumbaga, it depicts what we call the maritime axis of advance of China. Kumbaga, the extent of its maritime ambition. So there's a northern axis going to the Arctic Ocean. We are affected by the 2 axes of advance. The one in the middle is the advance from China going to the Mid-Pacific and to the South America. So it hit us where tatamaan tayo sa Luzon Strait, Basi Channel.
Right.
And that's where I think the 3 new EDCA sites are located.
The Cagayan Isabela ones, right?
Yeah.
2 in Cagayan.
Yeah. And the other one is familiar naman tayo.
The
one going to West Philippine Sea or Calayan Island Group or Spratlys group of islands. That axis is going to Indian Ocean to Africa and Europe. Okay.
And this one also goes towards second island chain, right? In a sense, which I mean, that's where Philippine Sea and Benham Rise.
Yeah, it's pushing outward towards the second island chain.
Right.
Okay. Kaya this one is a concern for us kasi they have diplomatic forays already in the Solomon Islands.
Right.
We used to have a strategic rear. Ang strategic rear natin is yung East Coast natin eh. Kasi we look at it, kumbaga walang problema dyan, typhoon lang problema natin dyan. Now, if nag-gain traction yung positioning ng China sa Solomon Islands,
South Pacific countries, which is a big issue for Australia and others too,
then wala na tayong strategic rear. Kumbaga,
where is the Solomon Islands? Is it this one?
Somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle, okay. So it's much closer to us then.
And ang fino-focus ng China are those islands that used to host Japanese or US bases during the Second World War.
Second World War, right? Yeah, the Pacific War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, mangyari niyan, we are going to be sandwiched between the first island chain construct nila and the second island chain.
Right. And this is the reason why I always, Because we always hear Philippines has a great geographical position. I'm saying like, yes and no. Actually, if you look at it in a way, we have the worst geographic position. We're squeezed between first and second island chain strategy of China.
Yeah,
right?
I call it now the curse of geography.
I mean, I didn't want to go that far, but it is in a way.
is.
Or I would call it tyranny of geography, or geography of tyranny.
And that is something we have to accept.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, in the positioning of things, do we want to be the doormat of Asia, East Asia?
That's
or,
one way of putting it, yeah. I mean, we're double frontline.
Kaya nga.
That's really not good.
So, we need to accept yung geopolitical and geographical circumstance natin as what it is. It's the nature of the beast. And craft our maritime security posture accordingly. Now, yung trying to deny things will not solve the problem. Kasi kumbaga, when you say, okay, that's not intended for the South China Sea problem. We're trying to deny things.
Would you say the neutrality debate is kind of a denial of the reality that, oy, mag-neutral na lang tayo dyan, wala tayong ano dyan. The Harry Roca line, which is like, this is the intramurals of the giants, we don't have to do anything about it. Like, I find that kind of weird because we are a US treaty ally and we don't want to be dominated by China in these areas, right? I mean, what's going on there?
We need to step up. Okay, we need to accept our middle power stature.
Yeah, because we're not a small country. Our population is close to Mexico's. Yeah. No one says Mexico is a small country, right?
But I don't know, kumbaga, is it an institutional or kumbaga cultural inferiority complex
I
on our
think it's
part?
a cultural, psychological thing, yeah.
Yeah, but we need to get over that. We need to accept that we are a middle power.
Right.
And as a middle power, we have responsibilities.
And literally in the middle of
in the
all
middle
of this,
also.
yeah.
And we don't have to be the small brother to the American big brother. We can plot our own course. Kumbaga, the US uses the hub and spokes.
Right. The network of allies it has, yeah.
But we can use that same mechanism.
To our own advantage.
Yeah. Kumbaga, tayo Pilipinas becomes the hub.
Right.
And our relations with the US, Japan, Australia, other partners are the spokes.
Yeah.
But that means we need to step up and kumbaga build confidence among ourselves.
Yeah.
Na kaya natin dalhin yung hub na yun.
And a sense of agency that we're not just spectators here, we can do something about it. I mean, I always say everyone talks about AUKUS, but we have to talk about JAFUS, right? Japan, Philippines, US. That's another important trilateral because if you look at Taiwan there in the map, it's squeezed, sandwiched in between Philippines and Japan, and both of us naval facilities very close to that. Before we go to the grand strategy again,